What's up everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Hafa, I'm a full-time content creator, and in today's video I'm gonna show you 10 top exercises to do in the gym that'll turn yourself into a superhero. I've been doing those exercises for the last couple of years and they truly helped me build the physique that I have nowadays. Regardless if you're a man or a woman, or if you're training for aesthetics, strength, hypertrophy, mobility, whatever you're doing in the gym, those 10 exercises are definitely a staple and will turn yourself into a superhero. Before we dive into the 10 exercises, and I'll give you one more exercise at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around until the end. Make sure you sub to my channel if you haven't yet. Also give it a like and support my work in here, and also comment down below any questions or anything that you would like to comment in here. All right, that being said, those 10 exercises plus one that I'm gonna give you away at the end of this video are being selected by a few different reasons. So first of all, those exercises, they are not only for hypertrophy, they are not only for aesthetics, but also they're gonna give a boost to your athleticism. We don't want to look only good, but also like someone who is very functional, right? At least for myself, and I would say guys, it doesn't really matter how good looking you are, if you can be functional. You could be like super strong, super bulky and all of that, but you can't even scratch your back, or maybe like do like this, or maybe stretching a little bit further or whatever, or reach your toes or your feet with your legs extended. You want to look good but also very functional. This channel, and obviously for my training as well, I've done hypertrophy before and all of that, but I also feel like we have to toss in some mobility, athleticism. But in today's video, that's not going to be about that. It's going to be like exercises that can you provide strength, explosiveness, some sort of mobility, strength, and also hypertrophy. They also gonna help within your body, like metabolic rate, boost testosterone and dopamine levels and all of that. Like a lot of things going on within those exercises. So the selective part in here, I know you guys like, oh, this exercise might not be so good for hypertrophy, or not that functional, or not that good for strength. But the selection we built today are staple exercises that, first of all, you can train in any gym. There's no need of a lot of equipment. Second of all, they'll boost your athleticism. Third of all, they'll help you with your strength as well, which is really important the more you age, and also when you're very young. Like strength makes your body really powerful, so you can do daily stuff and on daily basis like functional a little bit better than you were before. And obviously as a second effect, doing hypertrophy as well, your body will change, that's for sure. But remember, those exercises by themselves, they're not gonna be like the super secret for you to get in the shape of your life. They have to be well connected and well linked to your diet. Your diet is also key, but we're gonna talk about that in another video today. I just wanna focus about the exercises that you guys should be doing, regardless if you're a woman or a guy, all right? We split evenly, so upper and lower body as well. When I feel more, there will be a little bit isolated and compound movements, but we're gonna start with a few exercises, and obviously I'll tell you why exactly this selection was made. All these exercises are connected and they could definitely be built into a routine throughout the week or something like that. You need a little bit more of knowledge to toss them and build a routine with them. If you don't have it and you just want to train with me, you can check the link down below. You can test out my workouts for 1 week or more, and definitely like that will help you to build the shape that you're looking for. So the first exercise we're gonna be diving into it is pull-ups. Pull-ups are great calisthenics body weight exercise. If you guys haven't seen before, this is how it looks like. So pull-ups, they've been used a lot in the army, everywhere in the world. You can see a lot of calisthenic parks, people doing pull-ups everywhere. You're just gonna hang on the bar and then pull up yourself, right? We have a lot of different variations, but for this pull-up exercise, I would say shoulder width, and that will be more than plenty. Now, why pull-ups are in this selection? First of all, you've got a position that you're stretching a lot, your shoulder and your chest will be in a stretch position as well if you're doing full range of motion. Second of all, you're working a lot on your lats, also your biceps and your forearms. You need to keep your core You need to keep your core engaged as well and your lower back, so you're activating your whole back. Now, pull-ups are a great exercise. You will see gymnasts doing, calisthenics doing, gym bros doing as well, and it's not for everyone. It's a great exercise to build up grip, a very thick biceps and forearms as well, especially the lats width. I would definitely say that pull-ups by themselves, they will need some sort of like row to complement the exercise. You see a lot of calisthenics guys that do only pull-ups, and when it comes down to athletics, they'll have the V taper, right? But then the thickness would be a little bit left behind. Not only want your back to look really thick, also like you see how deep it goes, but also the V taper, right? You want both thickness and width. So pull-ups are great for width, and no matter who's gonna say that, I know this is gonna be a little bit controversial, but I'll say this very, very specific. Pull downs and pull-ups are not the same. They are not replaceable. I am really, really sorry for those who are saying pretty much the same thing, but it's not. Pull-ups are way more harder exercise in comparison to pull downs, and not only that, they work much more your body and they demand much more strength from yourself. You could actually do both of them in the same routine, because at least to me, when I do pull downs, I feel like more isolation and all of that. Whereas pull-ups, like, it demands a lot from my body, right? Now, pull-ups have so many different variations. You could do a close grip, a wide grip, a shoulder width. I would stick for this video for the shoulder width, which is like this, just a bit wider than your shoulder width, and there'll be more than plenty. You can start with a band wrapped around your feet and then do the pull-ups if you can't do bodyweight pull-ups. But the more you progress with pull-ups, you should be wearing a belt with weights, so you can do weighted pull-ups, and this is going to be the most powerful exercise for your back and your upper posterior chain. They are great to build strength, hypertrophy, athleticism, mobility, as well as the shoulders are put on a very stretching position. Now, not only that, but pull-ups are very impressive as well. Have you seen really heavyweight guys doing pull-ups? It's really impressive, right? Because it demands a lot of strength. Have you seen girls doing pull-ups? When I see a girl in the gym doing pull-ups, I'm like, wow, that's really powerful. You know that that girl's work out really hard and she's very strong, right? So pull-ups are a great way as well to provide you strength and make sure like you have your whole upper posterior chain doing the right job for you. Now, as we're talking about posterior chain, one of the top 10 exercises as well to put in your routine or any kind of variation is hip thrusts. Hip thrusts are the girls' favorite sweetie potty exercise. And that because it builds up a lot your glutes. Like, it's one of the most, if not the best exercises for your glutes and your hamstrings as well. The fact of you putting the hips on that specific range of motion, it's very powerful. If you notice athletes, football, basketball, soccer, any kind of athlete really, they'll have their glutes very strong. And that's because when it comes down to your body, the strongest part of your body should be the core along with your glutes, because it's basically in the center of your body. So if you have strong glutes, you're probably going to be stronger. You're probably going to do very heavy squats. You're probably anything that you're going to do that is on weight on top of your back or any exercise movement pattern, you'll be very strong because your glutes are strong, and by extension your core will be very strong as well. So do not neglect training glutes, especially you guys, men, tend to neglect them. And as aesthetics as well, if you have glutes, bro, your legs will look much better. Like, there are countless times that I met girls or friends or female friends that actually said that guys with glutes is like a green flag, because they're definitely like training legs. It looks sexy as well. So you want to be doing hip thrusts, trust me. And not only that, but if you're a guy and you're doing hip thrusts in the gym, you're probably gonna take turns with another girl when they are using a hip thrust machine or a hip thrust bar. So it's a great way as well to start a conversation. My favorite way to do hip thrust nowadays is a machine glue, but unfortunately a lot of the gyms, they don't have them, especially because you can load a lot. But when you're doing on the barbell, like, it takes a little while, bro. It takes so long. If you're putting 100 kilos on each side, it takes so long just to set up the bar. Like, it takes like half an hour just to do this exercise, right? So I would definitely say that machines are a little bit better in that case. If you're in a upper level or very strong for hip thrust as well, you can play a lot with tempo, so do contractions at the top, maybe at the bottom as well. Hip thrusts are just amazing. You probably will see a jump in the strength. You're gonna level up your strength of your posterior chain as soon as you start doing hip thrusts. And as soon as you start doing them as well, you notice your glutes gonna get much bigger as well, because it's one of the best exercises to activate that part. And also, like, because it works the whole lower back part and also your core and your hips and your hamstrings, so it's an excellent compound exercise to put or either on a leg day or on a pull day. Moving on to our fourth top exercise to build your body, it's going to be shoulder press or handstands as well. If you're a calisthenics athlete, you probably know how to do handstand push-ups. I wish I could do that. Maybe this year I'll try to develop that ability. But for now, as I like to blend, bro, birds here are singing loud. So as I like to blend lifting weights and calisthenics, now I've been doing a lot of shoulder press for the last couple of 6 months, and I can tell you that my strength has developed a lot. And shoulder press are great push exercise, one of the best, not only because it's a compound movement, but also if you're doing stand up, you probably work your whole body. And this is what we're looking for on exercises today, not only hypertrophy, but athleticism, balance, mobility, and all of that. A barbell shoulder press, it's amazing because you're in a standing up position that is very athletic. You're gonna work on your front delts, side delts, a bit of your rear delts, not that much, but also your clavicular part, the upper part of your chest, your triceps. And if you're doing stand up, you have to work on your balance as well. So your core will be very much engaged, and it demands a lot of power, a lot of strength. This exercise is great as well if you play sports, football or whatever, because you're in the position of pushing it, right? So it's kind of like a vertical push, right? So when you're doing it, it's just gonna mirror the same action that you're doing on the field. And the same goes for basketball players, right? Look, this position, you're also pushing it. If you're playing soccer or football as well, like many times you gotta run. So when you run, you're kind of pushing yourself, right guys? So this is all about it. You're mimicking and mirroring the exercise that you do on a daily basis. Imagine if you're in the kitchen, you gotta reach the cabinets, you gotta do like this as well. Another thing that is great for shoulder presses is that you need mobility to extend to the end, right? Like to do the full range of motion. Some people can't do it, and if you have great mobility on your shoulders, they'll be perfect for you. And also, like, those exercises, the pull up and also shoulder press, they'll help you a lot to have the V taper when it comes down to aesthetics. You want your shoulders to pop on the side and also your back to be kind of width in a V taper, so you look like broader as well. As we're speaking about shoulders, this next exercise is not that much about athleticism, but it's one of the exercises that unfortunately you can't replace it. There's no exercise that really is gonna target specifically your side delts. So this portion of your shoulders, right? If you're not aware, we've got 3 different heads. So the side, front, and here. The side shoulder is very difficult to target. Even if you're doing shoulder press, maybe in this stretching position, you would target a little bit, but not as much as lateral raises. Lateral raises are an amazing exercise either for man or woman because they'll target the side lateral raise. This will give you a broader shoulder and also a wider width when it comes down to the ratio of your shoulder, hips, and legs. So doing side lateral raises, it is important. I would recommend with dumbbells as you have in anywhere, not necessarily machines. Machines for side laterals are very difficult to find, very difficult to find. So you can do 2 different variations. The dumbbells, obviously, you could do seated or on the cables as well, behind your back. I could do just like this or like this. This exercise is not about athleticism. It might be if you're standing up because you have to engage your core again. Any exercise that you're standing up, you will have to engage your core anyway, but it's more about like putting your body into a nice shape, like this V taper that we're looking for, either for girls and boys. All right, another great exercise, you already should be knowing this by now, are squats. Squats are great, one of the top lower body exercises, maybe even full body exercises. Your whole body has to move in order to get the barbell up and down. Squats are a great way to develop range of motion through your hips, your legs as well. Make sure your core is strong, your whole back is strong, and obviously like your feet and mobility and all of that will also be strengthening up. Squats might look a little bit difficult, but they are actually a staple exercise, and if well executed, there's no replacement for it. They are not only very athletic, but also they build a lot of strength in hypertrophy terms as well. Great activation of your full lower body and also upper body as well. And also they are great enhancer of your jump, of your run, boosting speed, strength, and all of that. Now, in my personal opinion, squats with a barbell behind the back is a great one. I also like to do in front of my body, like front squats, but they'll demand a lot of your core. When you're doing squats, your core must be activated, your spinal erectors as well, as you're putting the bar on top of it, and also like your whole legs, especially quads, inner thighs, and also glutes a little bit, but hammies as well. Now, squats, depending on the variation, will change a lot the activation of your legs. So you could go wide stance, regular stance, maybe sumo squats. My personal opinion, if I want to hit the whole legs, and for me that feels more comfortable, would definitely be hips width. So I try to keep it up, hips width, and they'll make sure like my squats is actually activating my whole body. I would definitely do squats on one day and hip thrusts on another day, as they do have a few differences when it comes down to activation. Squats still hit your glutes a little bit, but not as much as hip thrusts. And because they are both very taxing and demanding exercises on your body, I wouldn't toss them on the same day unless I'm doing just one of them and very lightly, like full, I don't know, high reps and all of that. And also, if you're squatting ass to grass, your mobility must be on point. So that's why, like, for some people, squatting can be a little bit hard because they don't have ankle mobility, hips mobility, maybe lower back mobility as well. All of those things have to be considered when doing squats, and maybe that's why your form sucks. So make sure you're doing proper squats, toss them in. Like a few sets of squats per week will help you so much to build a strength in your upper and lower body as well, and overall strength for you to be more athletic and functional on daily basis. Now, another great upper body exercise are rows, especially barbell row or unilateral dumbbell row. Those two exercises, you could definitely toss them in during your workout routine. And as I told you before, pull-ups are very nice to build with, but in some of the occasions you will see calisthenic athletes with a lot of width but not thickness. If you see Olympians that row a lot, their back is just super solid, it's brutal. So when it comes down to rows, you should be doing either barbell rows or dumbbell rows. Personally, I would do them on different days as they are kind of similar, but both have different benefits. When it comes down to barbell rows, I'll definitely do them on this position with your upper hands and not supinated hands, simply because I wouldn't put my biceps into risk. And also barbell rows are a great way to work on your lower body, as you need to keep your glutes and posterior chain all engaged when performing. A lot of people feel a lot of discomfort on your lower back. That's because they don't work on their lower back specifications. So they don't know how to activate their core, and when they are doing barbell rows and they're trying to move up the weight, just overload a little bit more, their lower back starts screaming. That's because you demand and you need a very strong core and lower back when it comes down to doing barbell rows. Now, barbell rows are not only very athletic because of the position your body is placed on it, but also because it demands from all your posterior chain and a lot from your upper body. So you're gonna be working on your forearms, your biceps, and also your whole back overall. It's one of the best exercises to activate your back, and also depending on how your hands position, supinate, pronate, and if you're pulling towards your belly button or more upper, will change a bit, slightly a bit, the activation of your back. But this is definitely a staple routine for girls and for boys as well. So men that want to look like the V, tapered and very thick, barbell rows should be staple, and girls that want to build that nice rounded back when you look from behind, that's one of the exercises you should be doing. Another great exercise to build your posterior chain overall is deadlift. As you guys know, deadlifts are very powerful, not only to build strength, but also build muscle, hypertrophy purpose, functional purpose, as you have to lift the bar from the ground. Now, in my personal opinion, deadlifts are great when well executed. A lot of people have some trouble with them. I also faced some trouble back in the past, had some injuries doing them. I just decided I'll toss them in from time to time, but not doing them very often, because it's the top one exercise when it comes down to be taxing on your body and demanding from your system. Deadlifts demands a lot of from your forearms down to your whole spinal, back, posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings. All the body is really activated to do that. So it's a very athletic exercise. It's super functional for daily basis, and we're every time picking up stuff from the ground. And not only that, deadlifts could be very good to build strength, as you have to lift a lot of weight from the ground. My key tip in here would be just be very mindful when doing deadlifts, because depending on the position you're back, if you're rounding into you're not activating your core, you could get injured on your lower back, having a herniated disc and all of that. I'll definitely do them, but I'll put them into a pull day or a back day, as I feel more my back when I do them. And if you're playing around the height of the bar when you're pulling out of the rack, then obviously there'll be a few different activations on your posterior chain. But definitely deadlifts are a great way to boost your metabolic rate, boost your testosterone levels, make you sweat, dopamine, all the hormones, even post-workout effects. Deadlifts are great. Have you seen athletes that don't do deadlifts? Well, if you haven't, it's because it's one of the staple exercises to be more athletic and more functional. So yeah, this is on the list as well. Now, we still have a few more exercises for our upper body, and one of them is incline flies. So incline flies are similar to an incline press, but with dumbbells. So instead of using barbell to do incline press, you're gonna use dumbbells. Why do I prefer to use this one instead of a barbell press, incline barbell press? That is quite simple, because in an incline press, the range of motion is much better and you work on both sides together, but they are not nurturing imbalances. When you're using a barbell to do incline presses, many times you could be a little bit uneven, because one of your sides, either the left or the right, is kind of pressing more than the other side. So when you use dumbbells, you can make them more balanced, and your whole body on the right and left side more balanced as well. Many people go too heavy on this exercise on the dumbbells simply because they feel like they can be very strong, feeding their ego, but I'll definitely say that most of them do wrong, because then they limit the range of motion. The idea of using dumbbells is for you to actually go down a little bit more so you can stretch your pecs much more. Besides that, obviously this exercise is working on your shoulders, your triceps, your core if you know how to activate, and especially the upper area of your chest. In terms of our aesthetics, doing incline presses, I would definitely prioritize them instead of flat bench press or whatever, something that is flat, pressing it in the gym, just because it's much easier to develop the bottom part of your chest than the upper part. So always bear that in mind, and this is something that I do for myself as well. When it comes to aesthetics, I never do flat unless I'm doing supinated, but this is another story for another video. Always prioritize incline or anything that is going on your upper chest a little bit more, as you can develop this area a little bit better. Now we're gonna toss in 2 different exercises for legs that should be a staple as well for your leg routine, and it should be in this list as well of this video, as they are isolated exercises and they will help you target a little bit more those 2 parts. The first one is leg extensions. So you target a lot your quads, especially like this part in here, obviously the feet position as well, and any gym will have it. So this is great even for women or men if you want to target or activate your quads before you're doing squats as well. It's an amazing exercise, definitely will put into my routine, as is one of the best exercises to activate your quads, specifically in an isolated way. You might use it as a finisher, as an activator, you do whatever you want to do it, but it's a great exercise. I wouldn't take them out. Now on the other hand, when we talked about hip thrusts and deadlifts, another great complementary exercise for that would be leg curls, especially the seated leg curls. Obviously, like laying down leg curls is still very good, but they'll put a lot of stress on your lower back, and in my personal opinion, I'll prefer to do a leg curl seated position. Now this exercise is great because it works exactly like your biceps. You're doing this with your posterior chain, especially your hamstring, so basically like you're contracting a lot, whereas deadlifts in Romanians is stretch a lot and put a lot of strength on the position of the stretch. Now leg curls are amazing exercise to target your hammies, and it should be a staple on your leg exercise routine. And not only because you see a lot of guys with their quads well developed, but on the other hand, the hamstrings are so far behind. So you need to do your posterior chain a little bit more often. That'll help you build a very well-balanced physique, and not only that, will avoid injuries on your knees, your ankles, your lower back, and all of that you already know. So make sure you do those 2 exercises and put them into your routine during the week. All right, amazing, y'all. We already got the 10 exercises, but I'm gonna toss 2 more exercises. If you stick to the end of this video, you have the key tip right here. And those 2 exercises, first of all, is gonna be Bulgarians. Bulgarians are a relationship of hate and love with them, I know for most of y'all, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. It actually means you should be doing them more often. Because you're doing unilateral with your legs, it puts on a lot of athleticism as well for balancing, for strength, and to be fully concentrated on whatever you're doing when you're doing Bulgarians, right? Make sure you do Bulgarians. They hit the glutes, the whole posterior chain, also quads, and they demand a lot from your core. If you see big athletes, they do know how to do Bulgarians and heavy Bulgarians, so make sure you toss them into your leg day exercise. They work a lot on your glutes and basically your whole legs. So it's a very difficult exercise, but with time, you're gonna love them. I'm pretty sure, like I love them. And the last exercise, and we haven't talked about this part of the body yet. I'll do another video specifically about this part of the body, but as you're doing all the exercise that we mentioned before, probably your core will be activated if you know how to do it. But this exercise specifically is amazing for developing your abs and also your core tightness, which is the leg raises on a bar. So you will be the same setup for a pull-up, but you're gonna do leg raises and you're gonna bring your legs like in this position, as you can see. This is a great activator for your core, your lower back as you're hanging, your forearms has to work, your whole upper body has to be maintained in a well position, and your core are super activated while you're working a little bit more and focusing a bit more on your lower abs. So make sure you're doing them properly. These are great for activating your whole core, engaging your upper body as you have to hang in there and figure it out balance to not move forward and backwards all the time. Basically, a lot of calisthenics gymnasts will do then, also bodybuilders, because basically builds up the V taper as well. So you would have that look with the exercise that we previously mentioned, a V taper with broad shoulders, and then along with the knee raises, a tighter look on your lower abs as well. That's it, guys. Those are all the exercises that I'll definitely say will turn yourself into a superhero. Regardless if you're a man or a woman, they'll help you strengthen up your body, hypertrophy purposes, aesthetic purpose as well, super functional all this package is super functional for daily basis as well. Let me know how it goes. If you need guidance and you want to work out with me, do the exact training that I've been doing, you could check the link down below on my fitness app. You can do a 7-day free tryout. We already have 4 different workout routines for yourself, and I hope this video has helped you. If you feel like there is any other exercise that you would like me to dive into it, or any exercise that you felt like that was out of this whole package, just let me know as well. Comment down below. I'll be glad to say why I didn't put it on it. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and also YouTube Shorts for daily inspiration, and also to see my daily basis as I post my workouts on that as well. Don't forget to sub to the channel if you haven't yet. Give it a like to support my work in here. Share with your friends and comment down below what would you like to see next. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.